What does it mean to have your childhood stolen? To most people, they might have to take a second to think about that because it's such an unusual question. But to me, it means getting taken away from your parents, being separated from your brothers and sisters, and being tortured for speaking your native language. When I think about getting your childhood stolen, I think about the hundreds of thousands of indigenous children that never got to enjoy their time running around and playing in playgrounds. When I think about getting your childhood stolen, I think about the time my grandmother sat me down and told me about the stories about her dark past. She told me all about the harsh consequences. She told me if that she ever talked back, she would get her ears pulled, hit on the head, or on the hand. She told me that most days she wouldn't eat because they were served liquid-like mashed potatoes, dry and overcooked fish, and watery porridge. She told me that instead of going outside to play at recess like a normal kid, the supervisor would make them do chores, and most of the time they would have to miss their lunch in order to complete their tasks. When I think about getting your childhood stolen, I think about the many children that left the residential schools to try to reconnect with their families, but they couldn't, because all that once brought them together as a family are now lost and broken. When I think about getting your childhood stolen, I think about the many residential school survivors who to this day are still having difficulties trying to reconnect with their families, getting back up on their feet, and try to make ends meet. Today, the government gives us money, pays for our medical expenses and our school expenses, but no amount of money will ever compensate for the amount of abuse and trauma the government has gave over 150,000 indigenous children. Even though the government and the churches have both apologized, we are still suffering from all that has transpired throughout the residential schools atrocities. Sometimes when we're out and we pass by playgrounds, I stop and wonder if my grandma just ever has the urge to run over to play to make up for all the lost playing time for when she was a kid.